Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about my final thoughts on my blog project and what I thought about the student newspaper. So, starting off, I had chosen to utilize the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill's newspaper called the Daily Tar Heel. Their slogan was super catchy. I really liked it. It says printing news, raising hell since 1893. 1893 is the year that they actually started this student paper, and it just shows how they were able to stay consistent over that many years and keep it afloat, given all of the different events that have happened since then, and just being able to focus on their past. So, starting off, I think overall it's well done. I really like the colors, the consistency throughout the entire thing. You have your biggest photo being your strongest headline for the day. Really is more of a click me page. Shows that this is the top story, give it a look, and tell us what you think, basically. In the middle, we see three other articles, smaller, still really important headlines for the day. This is primarily where I found my articles. I just wanted to see what they thought was newsworthy enough to talk about, with them being their biggest headlines. Something I kind of thought was a little bit overkill, definitely small, it doesn't really hurt their profile in any way, is the top bar. This little section comes with all different categories of what each article can be categorized under. Each of these have a subcategory as well. Tons of different categories to look at. I think some articles can definitely get lost here. I also think that it's overkill having the three bars there, just because when you drop down the three bars, it also pulls up those categories again. And then at the bottom of the page, you see them yet again. It's kind of everywhere. The really best way to find these is just clicking on a random one and seeing what you find. So starting off, this was one of my articles that I focused on that I really liked. It's titled UNC Archaeologists Uncover Artifacts from 1800s Dining Hall. Starting off with the picture, I love it. Includes UNC in the background, shows someone hard at work. Their lead is good. Just outside of New East Hall, the university's archaeologists and students are uncovering one of the first buildings constructed on campus. Talks about what they're doing, how the building is important, and where exactly it is. And then in red, I have the nut graph, gives more information on the dining hall, originally being that it was a dining hall, then served as a common area for students, and then was repurposed into a private boarding house. Um, Gives the years, who, what, when, where, why. Great job overall. Going on to page 4, one of the students in this image actually was not featured in the article. I really believe that whoever's in the images should talk. Um, Personal preference, it's not a rule that they can't. I just thought that given the amount of photos that they probably had taken, why include someone who wasn't in the article? And then to the right, this is a student who actually did not have any direct quotes. The author had instead summarized what they said. I did not enjoy this at all. I didn't think it really aided the story anyway. It was kind of just volunteering experience. But instead, if they didn't want their direct quote to be used, they could have instead gone the anonymous route. I just saw, again, it could have been taken out, but it's just a personal preference by them. And this story is one that I did not like at all. This was actually listed in that middle category that I had talked about earlier, being one of the bigger headlines for the day. I really thought that I would like this article. It's about bag charms. I'm a huge craft person and thought that, oh, this is like a cute take on a trend that's going around different campuses. Starting off, the image could be improved. I really am not a fan or a hater of the headline. Um, it's good, but comparing it to what their final paragraph said, the two are contradicting statements. So in the headline, we have bag charms, the ancient trend retaking UNC's campus. I take that as there are multiple examples of this trend being seen. UNC students are really passionate about this and kind of want the word to be spread. But their ending paragraph, They say whether a trend is here to stay is a test of time. However, while the current charm craze might not last, it's remained true that charms are long-lasting symbols of the human experience. Um, I don't think this is a good way to end this story. There's no sort of call to action here. It would have been cool if they could have instead maybe teamed up with a different club organization on campus and done an event to make these bag charms. And also, the individual that they included in this article who had the bag charms didn't even go to UNC. This was a visiting student from a different university, a significant other of a UNC student. But with them not going to UNC, I really don't know if they should have been the focal point of the story. Again, this definitely was not one of my favorite pieces, just some design choices that I wouldn't have made. And really just like kind of defeated the purpose of it being intended for UNC's campus by starting off so strong with saying it's retaking the campus, but then immediately saying in their final paragraph it might not last. Um, just two completely contradicting statements that I didn't really like. But overall, I thought it was consistent with every single article that I had read, whether it be a design choice by the editor in chief. Paragraphs really stayed consistent. Verb usage and wording was really well done. And I thought that overall, every single article I picked was written by someone else, but it really was so coherent that it seemed like one person had written all of them. I really, really thought this was well done. I'm definitely going to keep looking at them in the future and seeing some of the articles that I do or don't like. But yeah.